Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to another great night of Friday Night Football here, coming to you from Mustang Stadium. We have a great night of football in store for you guys and ourselves as the Mustangs face off against the Catamounts of Panther Creek. It is a rematch of a regular season game that took place a few weeks ago. Panther Creek won that matchup 16-12, and Middle Creek is coming out here tonight looking to avenge that defeat. And first round of the playoffs, and you got such a high matchup already. And as we take a look at the Mid-East pod that Middle Creek and Panther Creek are in, you got Jack Britt with the number 1 seed, then Middle Creek, Fuquay, and Cary. You see the Tri-9 teams stacked up at the top, and then Lumberton 71st, Panther Creek, and Southview to round it out. And the games tonight, we have Jack Britt facing off against Southview, Fuquay facing off against 71st, and Cary against Lumberton, and then here we have Panther Creek, Middle Creek, and we are in store for a great game tonight.
And a big key for the Mustangs to stop Panther Creek's rushing attack. They got Marquise Ward back with from a back injury.
I know another key for the Mustangs is just limiting the errors that they had last game with David Salmon's interception. And, some questionable decision calling on 4th and, 28?
Yeah, what happened was it was late in the fourth quarter. Middle Creek had a chance to win it. The score was...
They were up by 2.
Yeah, it was 12 to 10, I believe. And Middle Creek had a 4th and 27 in the red zone. And it was a situation where it would have been a really long field goal, and it was too close to punt it, so Crocker decided to go for it. I don't think it was a bad play call. It was just, and then David threw an interception on the 10-yard line. It was returned, it was a pick 6, and Panther Creek took the lead, up 16-12. Middle Creek had a chance to win it, driving down the field, and Salmon threw another interception. It was just some costly errors late in the game here, and I know David's looking to avenge that, and he made some mistakes, but he's played excellent football at home this year. Only 3 interceptions next to 10 touchdowns, and he's had over 60% completion percentage here. We haven't lost since last year against Garner. Middle Creek comes in with an 8th-game win streak at home, and they play really well here. And you got the Creek Crazies, one of the best student sections in the area, coming out here to support your Mustangs tonight, and everybody's just pumped up. I know the players are ready to avenge that defeat, and everybody is just ready for a great night of football. I know Middle Creek fans are pumped, ready to see their team come out. And Panther Creek didn't put up that, and even though they won, it was an ugly game. It was a very defensive game. Panther Creek only had 178 total yards. Yeah,
our defense stopped them mostly throughout the game, and it just it came down to that last, the last play that we had. And it just changed the whole entire game.
That's been one of Salmon's key problems this year is the interception. He slings it around a lot, picks up a lot of yards, but he also throws a lot of interceptions.
But he's played pretty well for the most part. He's had his struggles, but that's going to come with any first-year quarterback on varsity. So
on the season he has 215 yards per game, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. That's not bad numbers.
He showed his legs a few times too. That's been one of the most impressive things about me, because that's something you didn't have with Garrett. Garrett was more of a pocket passer and didn't move around a lot. He was an excellent quarterback, just he didn't have that mobility. David's a little bit smaller, and he's more mobile than Garrett was. So it's a little bit of a different style of play. But what we also have is that potent rushing attack. You got Nayland Lopez, Corey Wright, and Devon Johnson, 3 excellent running backs, and they always it's become a 3-headed attack with the addition of Corey Wright this year.
Yeah, it's one of the most talented running cores that we have here in the Tri-9. It's one of the most hard running cores to stop.
Nayland has over 640 yards in the season with 6 touchdowns, and Devon has over 540 yards with 7 touchdowns. So it's hard to stop the two together.
Mustangs breaking through the banner. Everybody's getting pumped. And, and also you got Kevin Jones out there, 12 touchdowns on the season. Arguably the fastest player in the Tri-9. We've seen him return a few punts and kickoffs for touchdowns, and that's the biggest mistake I think the opposing team can make, is to kick it to Kevin, because he will burn you every time. if he doesn't get a touchdown, he's going to get a long, bring it back pretty far.
Yeah, he's a weapon. He's a weapon.
And another key in this game tonight is going to be the battle in the trenches, because Panther Creek has the biggest offensive line in the Tri-9 and one of the biggest in the area, and it's going to really be a challenge for Josh Banks and Darius Wilkins, our 2-star defensive linemen, to try and get through that and stop the rushing attack. Panther Creek's rushing attack is led by David Mayaka. He's averaging 123.5 yards a game, and he has 19 touchdowns on the season. So
amazing.
He is an incredible young running back there.
Middle Creek did a great job of containing him in the first game. He held him to 87 yards rushing, so that was a big victory for the Mustangs. They need to do the same tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. Panther Creek's not a really high-scoring, high-powered offense. So if Middle Creek can just limit their offense, they're not going to have a problem here tonight.
Yeah, I thought their defense played excellent last time when they played Panther Creek at Panther Creek. I mean, they didn't do much wrong. I mean, it was just the offense that made some errors.
Both teams played excellent the first time around and now in the playoffs, everybody has a clean slate and everybody's determined to win here. As we have the kickoff, Middle Creek is going to receive, and the kick is off, and the game is underway. Short kick, and it's going to be caught by number 42,
Steven Aguilar.
So a short little kick to start off the game, and Middle Creek is going to get the ball at their own 31-yard line as their offense comes out for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's great field position to start the game off with. I mean, you couldn't really ask for much better.
And Middle Creek on this first drive needs to establish the running game, pick up a few first downs, keep the chains moving, and just get that running game going.
And I think it goes without saying, I think as long as David is mistake-free, we should win this game tonight. Here's a screen pass to Kevin Jones, who is drilled, and he fumbled, and it's incomplete. Even though Jones caught it, and I think that's a lucky break because it looked like he took a couple steps with it, and it was knocked loose, but it's going to be ruled incomplete.
And that's big for Middle Creek.
Yeah, maybe he didn't have enough possession with it, or
they're going to lose yards, so it's 2nd and 12 here.
I think they called him forward progress. They marked him down.
And Nayland Lopez is going to break a big run. He's got Kevin Jones blocking for him. He cuts back to the inside, breaks a tackle, and he is down to the Panther Creek 30-yard line. Second play of the game for the Mustangs, and Nayland Lopez is already into Catamount territory.
And yeah, that's going to be the key tonight. If the Catamounts can't stop Nayland Lopez, then if they can't stop him, they really have no shot of stopping the passing of Middle Creek.
He had a great season last year as a sophomore, and with the addition of using Devon Johnson and Corey Wright more this season, he hasn't put up quite the statistics as he has last year, but he's an excellent player as he is going to cut outside for a few yards.
And there's a flag.
Look like holding on Ryan Dow.
So that is our first penalty of the game. It's going to be a false start, and it's going to bring it back. So negate that short game by Lopez.
I mean, really, any of the running backs from Middle Creek can get going, and they're going to have a great rushing game tonight. I mean, they do have a really good offensive line to get their blocks going, and most of their wide receivers can block for them on the outside when they get a chance to run outside.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of great play by the wide receivers in terms of being able to block for our running backs, especially Kevin Jones. He's been very impressive as handoff to Nayland up the middle. He breaks through untouched, and he breaks a tackle, and he is down. He breaks another tackle, and it's a touchdown.
Wow.
It looked like two of the Catamount defenders hit each other, and that's why they couldn't tackle him.
It looked like he was going to go down about the 5-yard line, and he just skips through into the end zone.
I think the two defenders hit each other.
And Lopez has been bothered by a couple injuries this year, and it looks like he's finally healthy, and we're going to need him throughout the playoffs.
So Chris Huey comes out to attempt the extra point, and Chris has struggled a little bit with extra points this year, so it is by no means a given, and that's been a little bit of an issue in some of these close games, and it is fumbled, and he's just going to take the loss. So bad snap, and there's going to be the extra point's going to be no good, obviously. Middle Creek leading 6-0, 11-12 to go here in the first quarter. So Middle Creek coming out, starting with a bang. That was an impressive drive.
Yeah, that was a good thing for them to get their offense flowing on that first drive, just to kind of set the tone for the game.
And Nayland, taking the ball 3 out of those 4 plays only one pass play, and it didn't even go anywhere.
Yeah, their run game looks like what's going to be most established during this game.
So that's exactly, you talked about establishing the running game, Alex. That's exactly what they wanted to do at the start of this game.
As Matt Millington's going to be taking the kick for Middle Creek.
He's done a very good job of kickoffs this year. They coach recruited him off the soccer team, and he's been a great addition to the special teams.
He has, we've kind of cycled through kickers over the past few years, and he's found a good fit as the punter and kickoff specialist.
As Darrell McLean is back for the Catamounts to receive the kick.
And it's a big boot down to the 5-yard line, and it's going to be returned by, it looks like, number 5. And it's a fumble. It's a fumble recovery. And it's going to be recovered by Middle Creek on the 19-yard line. And just like that, they have the ball. Middle Creek has the ball again in under a minute. We've had already on our second possession.
Yeah, number 5 for Panther Creek. Darrell McLean was. It just looked like he got hit too hard and he just lost the ball.
And that's a costly mistake. You got to hold on to the ball, especially on kickoffs.
Yeah, that'll come back in this game.
And it's a handoff up the middle to Lopez, who's going to get about 5 yards on the play.
We're now 1 minute through the game, and we've already scored 1 touchdown and are knocking on the door for a second touchdown. So Middle Creek's coming out early, doing a great job.
So 2nd and 6 for the Mustangs. Lopez in the backfield next to Salmon. Handoff up the middle to Lopez, and he's going to be stuffed after only a few yards. So maybe looking to throw a little bit here after 2. Not very successful running plays here by the Mustangs. Going to bring up 3rd and short. 3 yards to go to the first down.
Yeah, the play that I would probably look for here is just a little slant to Kevin Jones and a couple blocking, and he can just run right up the middle and just score.
Kevin Jones lined up on the far outside slot. Handoff up the middle to Lopez, and he's stuffed. Got a couple yards on the play.
Going to bring up a 4th down, so now they're going to have to decide on whether to kick the 27-yard field goal.
It's four down territory. The way Crocker's been playing it this year, at this close to the end zone, as we saw at the end of the last game, they were very close, and that's where Salmon threw the interception late in the game. As he drops back to pass, looking for an open man, and he was looking for Quentin Ray, but it was just a little overthrown as Quentin Ray just bats it down. 9:40 to go in the first quarter. So Middle Creek with excellent field position and can't capitalize on it, so it's going to be Panther Creek ball on their own 10-yard line.
And Middle Creek's going to look back on that later in the game, and they're going to wish they capitalized on that. They started off on the 19-yard line with all the motivation on their side and the momentum, and they really needed to put up points right there.
So 1st and 10 from the Catamounts, starting deep in their own territory, though. They got an uphill battle if they want to score here. So first time we're seeing the Catamount offense here, led by number 7. That's Jordan Jensen, their quarterback. And it's a handoff to Mayaka.
Yeah, I want to see if their defensive line this game can, kind of stay with their offensive line at Panther Creek, because their offensive line, being so big, I want to see if, they can just try to get around them and try to, get to the runner or the quarterback as quickly as they can. And
Middle Creek's defensive, their linebackers, their defensive linemen, they're very deep at those positions, and that's going to come into play tonight. They're going to keep cycling in fresh legs. And
handoff to Miyaka, and he's not going anywhere. He's stuffed on the play. And number 89 for the Catamounts, Daniel Bielenson. He's their tight end, big tight end out there. He got a lot of Division I offers, and he committed to Duke a little while ago. So, got to watch out for him. He's a dangerous target. Big guy, great hands, and they got to watch for him in the pass game. He's their leading receiver this year. They don't throw that much, but when they do, Middle Creek's got to keep an eye on him. And, we talk about they held Mayaka to less than 90 yards rushing the last time out. So Middle Creek did a pretty good job of containing him, and they're going to want to duplicate that tonight. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty. No, never mind, that's not a penalty. They just moved. That was the yards that they lost on the previous play. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 12 here for the Catamounts. And we have a score update for you. Fuquay is leading 71st, 7-0 early on in the first quarter.
Middle Creek will play the winner of that game. So
If we win this game.
If we win. The winner of this game will play the winner of that game. As Jensen passes intended for Bielenson, who I was just talking about, and it's incomplete as he was drilled.
Was it Jimmy Boyd that hit him? That's what it looked
I
like.
didn't see who got the hit, but it wouldn't surprise me. Jimmy,
hard
he's
hitter.
a hard hitter, no doubt.
Yeah, it was great coverage too. I mean, it looked like they had no options on, the little slots they had for the wide receivers.
And Matt Pearson tonight, he got the start last week when Jackson Ryder was injured. Played a good game, and they got him back out there tonight.
And, Darius Wilkins was out last week against Apex, and so was Marquise Ward. Marquise has been out for the last few games. With
Snap.
back end, it's a fumble, and it's a safety.
They're
And
gonna mark him
No,
down.
they're gonna
short.
mark him down.
and that's gonna be very close to the goal line. So, getting back to that, Darius was out last week against Apex with a minor knee injury, and Marquise was out for a few weeks with a back injury. But they are both back tonight. Daquan Stewart is again out for the season, tore his ACL, and Jay Schuler is wearing number 2 tonight for the Mustangs. He's a wide receiver that they pulled up from JV. He had an excellent season in JV, and the coaches were impressed enough with him to bring him up to varsity. And it's Panther Creek punting from their own end zone. Bielenson is the punter, as well as the tight end, and it's going to be a short punt, and it's going to go out around the 20-yard line.
And it looked like that one just came off the side of his foot, went way out of bounds.
And he was just lucky to get that off. Middle Creek was inches away from blocking it, and punting out of your end zone is never an easy task.
It looked like Dejan Montague was ready to block that.
And Middle Creek's going to start off with good field position. I think it's key. They need to put points on the board because they're going to want some of these chances back later in the game.
Salmon drops back, hits Quentin Ray, and it's going to be down to the 2-yard line for the Mustangs. And Broughton right now is leading Leesville 7-0 right now. And the storyline for Leesville, Austin Barrios, their quarterback all season, tore his ACL last week against Wake Forest Roseville when he was returning to kickoff. So his younger brother is stepping up, playing his first playoff game as a sophomore. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over at Leesville. And, Leesville 11-0 on the season. So if Broughton wins that game, it'd be a huge upset. And then handoff to Nayland went for a couple yards there for the Mustangs. Got 6 yards to go until pay dirt. 7:23 to go here in the first quarter. Nayland in the backfield. Salmon hands off to Lopez, who busts up the middle, and he looks like he's into the end zone.
Touchdown.
And the referee signals a touchdown. And Middle Creek's going to go up 12-0 right here. Mustangs getting an early lead, and they've already equaled their points total from the last time out.
Lopez is looking just unstoppable right now. I mean, it's 5 minutes in the game, and he has 2 touchdowns. And
he was excellent in the playoffs last year, and he's looking to do that again this year. I don't see him coming out anytime soon. As good as Devon and Corey is, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it right now. I think as good as Nayland is playing right now. And the extra point attempt is good, splitting the uprights. So Chris Huey puts the Mustangs up 13-0, extending their lead. And Mustangs are looking outstanding right now. And I think they know they have a little bit to prove. Panther Creek being their only loss in the Tri-9 this season, so they're definitely motivated tonight.
yeah, they've come out strong, on offense and defense. Getting, the 2 quick scores and then the 2 stops on defense. And it looks like they're doing good for tonight.
And special teams, forcing that fumble, even though they couldn't capitalize off it.
And Middle Creek's defense is playing very good. They've got Middle Creek's offense has gone on the field 2 times with starting inside the 20-yard line. So if they can continue to play great defense like they are, it's going to be a good night for the Mustangs.
So Matt Millington getting ready for the kickoff. 7:12 to go here in the first quarter. Mustangs starting out strong. Creek Crazies are getting loud. They're pumped up. And when they're pumped up, I think the team's pumped up. Great student section. It gives a great atmosphere to the stadium. It's a high kick. It's going to go the 10-yard line, and it's going to be taken by number 5. That's McLean for the Catamounts, and he holds on to it this time, takes it out to the 25-yard line, and Panther Creek's going to come out again and they got to get something going here.
Yeah, if they don't get something going, I mean, they can give the ball back to the Mustangs offense, and it's the way they're rolling now. It could just, they could score as much points as they need to. It's just they're clicking on all cylinders tonight.
And Panther Creek's rushing attack is their main asset, and they don't match up well against Middle Creek, who has one of the best defensive line and linebacker cores in the Tri-9.
And Jensen hasn't thrown much this season, but if the rushing attack is proved to be as ineffective as it has been so far, he may have to start launching it a little bit. And Miyaka had a short gain there on the handoff. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6. Jimmy Boyd and Justin Weinberg getting in on the tackle there for the Mustangs. 6:45 to go here in the first quarter. Mustangs up 13-0. Panther Creek coming out in the I formation, man in motion. Jensen takes the snap, handoff to Miyaka up the middle, and he's tackled by Darius Wilkins, who wraps him up. Darius got an offer, his 6th offer from Wofford last week it was, I believe. He's getting a lot of looks from colleges, and he's going to have his pick. He's going to decide in a few weeks, from what I've heard.
We've already got the other defensive end, Josh Banks, committed to Wake Forest.
So we've got a couple guys going on to play college ball. That's always a great thing to see. I formation, single wide receiver out to the right. Miyaka takes the handoff up the middle and bursts up the middle. He's going to be close to the first down marker. I think they're going to give it to him. And fresh set of downs for Panther Creek. So finally able to get some going here. Everybody's been predicting this to be an excellent night of football here. Two very good teams. Panther Creek has a lower seed, but their record is a lot better than their seed. They're 8-3 on the year, and the way the Tri-9 shook out, they got a lower seed because there are just a lot of good teams in the Tri-9 this year.
Fuquay 9-1 record. Their only loss came to Middle Creek in a double overtime game here at Middle Creek.
And Matt Williams came in motion and took the handoff, trying to bounce the outside, and there was nothing doing. He was tackled way in the backfield. That's going to bring up 2nd and very long. But there is a flag on the play.
You're going to call holding.
So that's going to bring it back even more for the Catamounts. And it's declined due to the great play by the defense, being able to Panther Creek losing yards on the play.
Yeah, Brian Brodney on that just shook the defender, even though he was getting held on that, and just was able to tackle the running back off that.
That's even more impressive. You can come off a hold and take down the running back like that.
Middle Creek
2nd and 14 for the Catamounts. Go ahead, BJ.
They do have a lot of talented cornerbacks in Barakel and Brian Brodney, and their secondary is excellent.
No doubt. Even Daquan Stewart is a short screen pass to Miyaka, gets about 3 yards on the play. But Daquan Stewart tore his ACL against Athens, a huge loss, one of the best players on this Middle Creek defense. But the rest of the defensive backs have stepped up, filled that void, and they haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, there was one game I remember. Daquan, he had 18 tackles. That is outstanding. I've never heard of anybody in high school sports getting 18 tackles in a game.
He is an excellent player, and it was a shame to see him go. Shotgun formation, 3rd and 12, flags all over the field. Somebody jumped.
I'll start.
It's offsides on Middle Creek.
So it's going to make it a little easier. 3rd down conversion as we have a score update. Cary is up 6-0 over Lumberton over at Cary first quarter. And that should be a great game over there. Cary's a great football team, as is Lumberton. And there's a lot of in our pod alone, there's a lot of good first round matchups. 3rd and 8 for the Catamount shotgun formation. Miyaka switches sides. Jensen's going to drop back to pass. Darius Wilkins coming off the edge, and he gets off the pass to a wide open. That's 82 for the Catamounts, and he's gone. And that was number 82, Jalen McCoy, who just was wide open. And that was a breakdown in coverage for the Mustangs. Nobody was around him. They shifted to the left side and just misread the offense on that play. So an unfortunate break for the Mustangs. 13-6, still have the lead.
Looks like Coach Ryder is screaming at Cameron White. I think he was supposed to be in zone on that side, and he made a mistake.
And those are just, mistakes that you can't make in the playoffs, especially like against a team like Panther Creek, a very good Catamount team.
And this Middle Creek defense usually doesn't make mistakes like that. They're very experienced. I think they start 10 seniors and a junior, so you usually don't see mistakes like that.
And Garrett Lang is going to bang the extra point through the uprights to cut the lead to 6 points here. Middle Creek up 13-7, and just like that, it's a ball game once again here. One big play, and I think it's going to, as long as the coaching staff can make adjustments and just calm the players down. Yeah, Cameron White's over there on the sidelines getting a talking to by both Ryder and Coach Ray, and I don't think he's going to make that mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking about the tight end, how big of a weapon he is for Panther Creek, and there he does. He shows up right there. And we have a score update. Garner is beating Athens Drive 7-0 in the first quarter.
And Garner 11-0 next to Leesville. Leesville and Garner, two of the top teams in the area, and if Athens could hold its own against Garner tonight, that would be huge.
Yeah, Garner is just a terrific team. I mean, they've just had their way this season. They haven't missed a beat at all this season.
We unfortunately lost them 35-21 at Garner earlier this season. An unfortunate loss for the Mustangs. 4:01 to go here in the first quarter. Another short kick. Looks like they're just doing that intentionally, and it's going to go out of bounds, which will be a flag as the sandbag comes hurtling over the head of the players, and it's going to give good field position to the Mustangs once again. So 13-7 here. Mustangs are leading, looking to get another scoring drive going here. Their offense has played excellent so far here. Nayland has been the bulk of the offense so far, but David is an excellent quarterback, and we haven't even seen him in full form tonight.
And I got a score update. Leesville just tied it up with Broughton in the first quarter of their game.
So that's definitely a game to keep an eye on. Salmon dropping back to pass, looking, deep bomb to Kevin. He's got him wide open, and Kevin Jones just drops it. He had that.
And that was a perfect throw.
That was a beautiful throw by David, and that's something he struggled with this year, is throwing that deep ball. And we saw as of late, he's done excellent. We saw against Holly Springs, and the last few games, he's done an excellent job throwing the deep ball, and he's dialed it in. And that's very rare that you see Kevin Jones drop it. As we run no huddle here, Nayland Lopez in the backfield for the Mustangs.
You look to see to give him the ball right now.
And you called it, PJ. Handoff up the middle to Nayland, who's going to rumble forward for about 8 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and short for the Mustangs.
You're probably going to see a lot of that tonight. It doesn't look like the passing game is doing very well right now. I like to see them go with the run games. I mean, it's working for them right now.
And Nayland's going to come off the field and Rayshawn King's going to come into the backfield.
He's one of the Middle Creek's 5 running backs. He's a big back. He likes to pound it up the middle.
Yeah, he's a powerful back.
Bringing him in on 3rd and short.
And it's going to be a now there's flags. It looked like Panther Creek jumped on that play. And that's going to bring up first down for Middle Creek. 3:22 to go here in the first quarter. And fresh set of downs for Middle Creek. As Panther Creek was trying to blitz or show blitz, and they just jumped a little too much. So Ray's going to stay in the backfield. Devon Johnson and Ray are 2 power backs.
Well, Nayland just brings it all.
Yeah, it's very true. As Ray's going to take the handoff, and he's going to lose yards on the play. So Panther Creek showing a little bit of resolve here, stepping it up.
I think Kevin Jones wants that one back. He wants that same play. He wants them to do that same exact thing so he can get another chance at it.
And I think he's going to get his chance at redemption soon enough.
This corner on Kevin Jones really doesn't have the speed to keep up with him. He's just got unbelievable speed, one of the fastest players in the Tri-9.
Not many corners can keep up with Kevin. We've seen that a lot this year.
Just if the offensive line can hold their blocks for just 4 or 5 seconds to give Salmon time to throw, nobody can stop that play.
Handoff to Ray to the edge, and he is chased down by number 84 for Panther Creek, Josh Locker. So an unfortunate turn of events for Middle Creek. It's going to bring up 3rd and very long. 2:15 to go here in the first quarter. Middle Creek still leading 13-7, and it's going to be about almost 20 yards. 18, 3rd and 18 coming up here. Middle Creek's going to go with an empty backfield. Trips left.
They're going to give Kevin that redemption.
I believe so.
No, we got a score update. 71st just scored a touchdown, but did not get the extra point. They brought the score 7-6.
So, timeout by Middle Creek here. So, kind of get their thoughts together, get the play right, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, after the Middle Creek timeout. 3rd and 18, trips right. Salmon looking to pass, break down, and it's just overthrew John Moore. He had him. He just had to scale it back a little bit on that play.
Yeah, it was just a sling out there. I mean, that's not really – it's a hard throw to make. It was just overthrown a little bit.
And I'd much rather have a overthrown pass than an underthrown pass on that play because that could have led to an interception by Panther Creek.
No doubt, as Matt Millington's going to come out for the punt. 4th and 18. Deep punt. That was a beautiful punt. Way down, and Middle Creek's going to recover it at the – Nayland is going to get the ball. I believe that was Nayland. Or no.
Andrew Gardner, it looked like.
Excuse me, that was Andrew Gardner, another one of our speedy running backs. He's lower on the depth chart, but he's seen he's seen some playing time in the past few games. He's really proved himself to be a great guy to come in as reserve. It's excellent play. Middle Creek is going to get it down at the 1-yard line for
Panther Creek.
Yeah, but we downed it at the 1 yard, and Panther Creek's going to get the ball at the 1 yard line.
Millington was barely able to get that punt off, and then he booted about 55, 60 yards. Very good punt.
So Panther Creek working out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Jensen under center, I formation, trying to get Middle Creek to jump here. Hand off to Mayaka up the middle, and he's just tripped up and is going to get a yard, if that, on the play.
Jackson Ryder, the safety, was playing way up on that play. He was able to get Mayaka before he could go anywhere.
I think they're just going to try to run the ball and just get a little bit of field position for their punter to just try to kick it out of their own area.
That'd be the smart move.
Because they don't really want to throw it here. Maybe they can get an interception. That would be.
Or risk a safety if he's sacked.
Safety. That just wouldn't be the ideal situation for Panther Creek.
I formation in. Jensen's going to pass, and it's just way overthrown. Intended for number 9, Jamel Ross, who has 6 touchdowns on the season. So just overthrew that one, and just couldn't get enough time back there to get his feet set and dial it in. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 8. 47.5 seconds to go here, still in the first quarter. Middle Creek leading 13-7. And here the Creek Crazies are getting loud out there.
And they really don't want this to be their last game of the season. They want more football.
No doubt, as Jensen's going to come out in the shotgun, hand off to Mayaka, and he is going to be tackled right away. So
that was almost snapped over the head of the Jensen. That would have been terrible for Panther Creek.
Safety is not what they want right now. They can't afford it. So it's going to be 4th and 9. Punter's going to come out and, looking again. You can't risk a high snap because if it goes out the back of the end zone, it's a safety.
I think Middle Creek should send the house right here, try to get after this punt.
And I agree. That'd be a good call.
I would think they should put one person back and just.
You got Kevin Jones and Quentin Ray. are back together to receive this punt.
The punts that we've seen from this punter haven't really gone that far. They've gone maybe, like 20 yards maybe.
And it's going to be a timeout, I believe, by Panther Creek. Oh, no, it's the end of the quarter. So we are going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Sports Block, and we'll be right back. And welcome back following the end of the first quarter here, as Panther Creek's going to be punting from the back of their own end zone, 4th and 9. And we have a quick score update. Leesville Road is up 14-7 after Braxton Berrios ran it in. So that's going to be Bielenson handling the punting duties for Panther Creek. Quentin Rain and Kevin Jones back there to receive the punt. And they high punt, and it's just going to go. It's going to roll out of bounds around the 47-yard line.
That was a great punt. He was able to get off under the pressure. He got about 45-yard punt.
It looked like it wasn't. It was just going to be high, but it took a good. It turned out to be better than it looked.
Middle Creek was hoping on getting the ball inside the 30-yard line, but great punt. Now they're out just inside the 50.
It's still a great field position, though.
It is. Starting on the Panther Creek side of the field.
Yeah, just a great rushing attack,
Nalen Lopez. Sorry, go ahead.
You can just, give him more room to run. I mean, he's running to the outside, and he's doing all game. He's just running it up the middle, and he's getting more yards.
Salmon dropping back to pass. He's going to tuck it and run. He's getting a block from Nalen. He's breaking a big run. And you talk about that mobility, and he breaks a huge run, taking it down to the 24-yard line. You saw Nalen made that difference on that play. He kept his quarterback from getting drilled, and great play by David. It's going to be taken down to the 29-yard line. So Middle Creek gets a fresh set of downs after the long run by Salmon. Gardner's going to come into the game. Gardner and Lopez flanking Salmon. And it's going to be a handoff to Gardner, who breaks one tackle and can't escape another.
He's a very speedy back. I don't know if he's the most powerful back they have, but he is a very speedy back.
And, little first quarter statistics. Salmon, he only threw 5 passes, 13 yards, but Lopez, 97 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns just in the first quarter alone. Gardner and Lopez are going to stay in the backfield. Salmon's going to hand off to Lopez, who's going to go up the middle, breaks the tackle, and he's brought down after about a 5-yard gain.
Nalen Lopez really put up Keith Marshall numbers in that first quarter.
And, referencing Keith Marshall, the running back for Millbrook, one of the top running backs, or the top running back in the nation, according to some sites. Yeah, an ESPN. And Salmon's going to throw, looking for the screen pass, and he's going to gun it. And it was intended for John Moore, who, Nalen and John collided on that play. It kind of caused a little confusion there.
It looked like somebody either ran the wrong route or they just ran into each other.
So 4th and 6, Middle Creek's going to go for it.
And looks like
4 wide, Nalen Lopez in the backfield.
Moore and Jones are split out to the right. Quentin Ray and Curtis Burston.
It is fourth down.
It is. It's 4th and 6, and Crocker's going to go for it. So interesting play call here. Salmon's going to drop back to pass. Everybody's back in coverage for Panther Creek, and he just overthrows Quentin Ray by a mile, and it's going to be turnover on downs for the Mustangs.
That was another questionable decision call. I would have.
But
I don't know.
it's too long for a 43-yard field goal. It's too short for a punt.
Yeah, it's just it's an awkward field position. We've done that a lot this year. You know, you get down and it's, you know, not many high school kickers have the leg to hit that, so you just go for it. It was a doable fourth down, but Panther Creek only had 3 down linemen, and they put everybody else back in coverage. So it was an excellent job of the Catamounts. So I formation, man in motion. Jensen's going to hand off up the middle to Miyaka, and he's going to lose a yard on the play. And in the first quarter, Panther Creek rushed it 8 times for only 8 yards, whereas Middle Creek rushed 10 times for 89 yards. So huge difference in productivity. And Panther Creek only had 69 total yards, whereas Middle Creek had 102 in the first quarter. So looking to, you know, Middle Creek had a distinct advantage the way they played in the first quarter. And, you know, that shows with the lead, 13-7 here. Handoff to Miyaka, who's going to plow forward for 5 yards.
And, you know, Panther Creek, you know, has to do the same thing Middle Creek did, you know, in the first half. I mean, they have to get their rushing game going a little bit better than they have in the first quarter. And that's the key for this game for both teams.
And they're going to go get back to the line quickly. I formation. Jensen's going to dive forward, but Panther Creek jumped on that play. So a little miscommunication there. It's going to Catamounts are going to go back.
They were trying to hurry up, get to the line, and snap it, get the quarterback sneak for the first down. But in doing so, they now set themselves up with a 3rd and 8 rather than the 3rd and 3.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate turn of events for the Catamounts as Matt Pierce is going to come off the field.
And Byron Lahart
is going to come in. Jensen in the shotgun. Creek Crazies are loud. 3rd and 7, dropping back to pass, and he's looking for Bielenson, the big tight end over the middle, and he was double covered, and Jensen tried to gun that in there, and it was just a short ways away, and it was just not a good combination of things, as Bielenson's going to stay on the field to take the punt. 9-12 here to go in the second quarter. 4th and 7. Ball on the Panther Creek 28-yard line. Quentin Ray and Kevin Jones are back to receive the punt, and almost blocked once again. You know, they're going to get to it at some point tonight if they keep doing well like that. And Quentin Ray's going to have some blocking, and he's going to return it, and he just has one man to beat who brings him down. And Middle Creek, they laid some of those Panther Creek guys out.
Those were a lot of big hits.
I saw at the corner of my eye, I saw big hits. I didn't see whether they were dirty hits, but there's a Panther Creek player down, and training staff comes out immediately. We're gonna take a quick break here for the injury timeout. You're watching the Sports Block, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, Mustang fans, and that was Jake Rorick for the Panther Creek that it got up under his own power and is walking off the field. So we hope he's all right. You never like to see a player go down, no matter what side he's on. and it was a big hit. I believe you said it was by Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy
I think
Boyd.
it was by number 13.
And no, I think they threw the flag. It was a hit below the waist.
Is that's a penalty?
Yes.
All right.
If the defender is coming back to the ball, you cannot hit them below the waist. It's a chop block.
There was a lot
I
of big
got
hits
you.
on that punt return. There was just big hit after big hit. And
Leesville's up 21-7 on Broughton right now, as Nayland's going to take it up for about 5 yards.
Carey is also leading Lumberton 13-0.
And in every game the majority of games this season, the punting unit has just been excellent. The blocking has been excellent, just setting up our returners so well. Like against Greenhope, I remember Cameron White had a huge hit, and against Panther Creek, earlier this season, Jimmy had another big hit on the coverage team. As Salmon in the shotgun, handoff to Nayland, who's tackled immediately, and he's going to lose a yard or two on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Mustangs. 8:20 to go here in the second quarter. And Middle Creek is leading 13-7, and I don't think we've scored. Anybody's scored in the second quarter here.
Yeah, it's been quiet here in the second quarter. It was a very loud first quarter, first couple minutes for Middle Creek. They
got off to a fast start.
Yeah, they scored, then got a fumble, scored again, but they haven't done much since.
And Panther Creek trying to be aggressive, and they're going to jump off sides, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 1, I believe, for the Mustangs. So just, they've been trying to be aggressive, show blitz, and that's the second time they've jumped off sides because they can't control themselves.
seems like they're very antsy right now. They're trying to get that big stop they need on defense.
I mean, they want to get to the ball carrier so bad, but it's going to cost them here. 3rd and 1. And Gardner is coming to the game, and he's going to take the handoff, cuts up the middle quickly, and it looks like he's going to be very close to the first down marker, and the spot the referee is giving him looks inches off, if anything, and they're not going to measure it, but it's going to be 4th and very short, and they're going to offense is going to stay out in the field. They're going to bring out the power formation. Jimmy Boyd is coming out, and they're scrambling to get the play off. They're bringing on Jimmy Boyd to power ahead. You got Devon Johnson, our big back there, and it's just going to be a battle of the trenches right here. Who can get the bigger push? And there's a penalty on the play. Timeout. Timeout will be taken by Panther Creek, and we're going to take a break as well, and we'll be returning in a moment. And welcome back here. 4th and 1 for the Mustangs. 7:18 to go here in the second quarter. Mustangs, both teams have their power formation out, and it's a quick handoff to Jimmy Boyd, and it's going to be very close.
Didn't look like he got it.
And turnover on downs. So quick handoff to Jimmy didn't work. So unfortunate for the Mustangs. And Alex and I were talking in the break, and Alex mentioned that we keep getting great field position, but we can't capitalize on it, and which is just real unfortunate.
If Middle Creek does start to struggle later in the game, they're going to look back on these chances and wish they had a few of them back. They really need to start capitalizing. I
mean, Middle Creek's had at least 3 chances to score here with great field position, and you're right, they're going to want those chances back. Panther Creek comes out in the I formation. Jensen under center. Miyaka gets the handoff, and he runs into his own blocker and is tackled. by Jackson Ryder, who came up to make the stop. And we've said Jackson's name a lot tonight. He's a safety, but he's playing up close to the line on a lot of these plays. I mean, Middle Creek's entire defense is all within about 6 or 7 yards of the line of scrimmage.
And these safeties aren't going to respect Panther Creek's passing game until they can prove them something. They haven't been able to throw the ball effectively, so they're going to keep creeping up and making stops in the run game.
Bielenson in motion, handoff to Miyaka, who's going to get 2 yards on the play. It's going to bring up third and 5 for the Catamounts. 6:02 to go here. Clock is running. Jensen's looking to the sideline to get the play here, and Panther Creek is down by 6 points here. Middle Creek leading 13-7. Panther Creek, no team has scored here in the second quarter.
No, like we said before, it's been like a silent second quarter.
It has
so far.
I got it.
And it is just a wow. And the snap went right past. That was number 5, Darrell McLean, who looked like they were doing a little bit of wildcat action, and there was just a lot of miscommunication between McLean and the center because the ball whizzed right past him, and he just had to fall on it.
It looked like he wasn't ready for it.
He wasn't.
He was adjusting. He was telling his lineman, adjusting at the line, and the center snapped the ball right by him.
So lucky break for the Mustangs. It's going to bring up 4th and 20 for the Catamounts. Bielenson coming out trying to give the Mustangs bad field position here. And barely, it's a deep punt, and Quentin Ray's going to return it from the 27-yard line, getting his blockers lined up, cuts to the outside, and he's got a lot of running room. Cameron White getting the block, and he's still going, and he's slowed up by one of the Panther Creek players grabbing his jersey. So what was a great punt by Bielenson is returned for a net gain of only a few yards on the punt.
It was a 50-yard return by Quentin Ray. He had a great one the last time, but it was called back chop block. And he's doing a great job tonight.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Like we said before, the special team has been playing really well throughout the past couple of weeks. It's getting that extra push, and those blocks have been helping a lot.
You saw Cameron White and Jimmy Boyd, all the familiar faces out there on the coverage team doing an excellent job as Salmon drops back to pass. And pass is tipped, intended for John Moore, and that would have been a touchdown. It looked like it was going to fall right into Moore's hands, but it was tipped by a Panther Creek defender. So what would have been a touchdown is an incomplete pass, bring up 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs. 4:34 to go here in the second quarter. Mustangs up by 6.
And for us up here in the booth, it's been a lot of looking to our left. We haven't really looked to our right. The ball has been on the ball has been on Panther Creek's side of the field throughout most of the second quarter. They're really controlling the game, but they haven't been able to prove it on the scoreboard.
As Nayland Lopez takes the handoff and is upended at the 19-yard line for a great gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Mustangs. 4:21 to go here.
Yeah, I'm looking to see Nayland Lopez, run a little bit more now. It looks like they've been trying to do a little bit different tactics right now. See if anything else works for them on offense.
Trips right. Curtis Burston is the single wide receiver out to the left. Lopez as the running back. Salmon drops back to pass, fires to Curtis Burston, who gets the pass at the 10-yard line, and he's going to have the first down and then some.
Curtis Burston, an excellent wide receiver, only being a sophomore. Is his first year on varsity?
It's his first year on varsity. He's big for a sophomore. Great target in the red zone for Salmon.
And the defense, Middle Creek's defense is going to lose 10 of their starters, but they're going to return a lot of starters on offense, including the
Salmon's going to have the quarterback keeper and fumbles on the play. So another that's our first turnover of the game for Middle Creek, 2nd overall, which is another blown opportunity. You have great field position, and Middle Creek can't capitalize on it. That's going to come back to haunt them later in the game against a team like Panther Creek. This is a close game, and it's going to stay close.
Yeah, it's been kind of a recurring theme tonight. It's just one turnover after another turnover. It's just an unfortunate series of events.
And if Middle Creek continues to let Panther Creek hang around, it's gonna come back to bite them.
And Curtis Burson's down on the sidelines getting some schooling and blocking from one of the coaches. But there's a timeout call by Middle Creek, so we're going to take a quick break here to go with 33 minutes and 34 seconds to go here in the second quarter. We'll be right back. And we're back after the Middle Creek timeout. 3:34 to go here in the second quarter. Middle Creek leading 13-7, and Panther Creek has the ball following David Salmon's fumble. And the ball is on the 19-yard line here. I formation, Jensen under center. Handoff to Miyaka, who's going to break a few tackles but can't escape the Middle Creek defense, and he gets 4 yards on the play.
No, Middle Creek's defense has done a great job of containing Miyaka. He really hasn't found any running room, and he hasn't been able to get out in the open where he likes to be.
Yeah, you're talking about Middle Creek's defense. They're doing a great job trying to, push through that big offensive line of Panther Creek. Them being the biggest offensive line, I think, in the Tri-9. They're doing a very good job.
Handoff to Miyaka up the middle, cuts through the defense, and is going to get the first down, bringing it out to the 36-yard line. 2:59 to go here. Clock is stopped while they move the chains, and Panther Creek is moving the ball well in these past few plays. And Middle Creek has dominated this first half, but they don't have the points to show for it. It's been on Panther Creek's side of the field a lot, but Alex was talking about during the break, they just don't have the points to show for it. As Josh Banks is going to get into the backfield and just stop Miyaka. They're going to lose yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 15.
And, Josh Banks, I think him and Darius are being, like the two toughest people to block on this Middle Creek defensive line. And they're just so talented and so big, and they're quick for their size.
And it's only going to be 2nd and 10 because of forward progress. So I formation, man in motion. Jensen's going to throw on this play. Pass intended for number 9, Jamel Ross, who drops it. It was in and out of his hands. He should have had that one. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
They brought him over in motion, and then he shot out to the flats but was unable to hold on to the pass.
2:06 to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 10. Middle Creek's got to hold them, get the ball back. And, if I were I'd like to see Middle Creek score again going into halftime and have a 2-score lead. Creek Crazers getting loud. Jensen out in the shotgun formation, looking to pass, and pass intended for number 82. That was Jalen McCoy, who had the touchdown earlier in the game, and he drops the pass. That's going to bring up 4th and 10. 2:02 to go here in the second quarter.
They have Quentin Ray and Kevin Jones back for the punt, which they've done a good job returning punts now. They've gotten the key blocks, and they've had excellent punt returns on this first half.
Absolutely. Bielenson's gonna get the punt off, high punt, and Quentin Ray's gonna let it. It's gonna go over Quentin's head and bounce into the end zone, bringing it out to the 20-yard line. So Bielenson has a huge leg on him.
That was an amazing punt.
64-yard punt.
He's just done an excellent job, and it was unfortunate for Panther Creek that they couldn't get down and cover it. But it's still not great field position for the Mustangs on their own 20-yard line. 1:53 to go here in the second quarter. Salmon's going to come out, nailing Lopez in the backfield. Salmon's going to look to throw, has some pressure, hits Quentin Ray over the middle for the screen pass. Great blocking, and he breaks one tackle, stiff arms another guy, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And that was Dowell, I believe, number 79.
Middle Creek is very good at this 2-minute drill. Remember, back at the Fuquay game that was here, they marched down the field twice in 4 minutes to send the game into overtime, and they eventually won in double overtime.
1:44 here to go in the second quarter. Salmon's going to draw play up the middle to Lopez, who's dragged down in the backfield. So, Panther Creek wasn't fooled on that play, and Middle Creek's going to lose 3 yards on the play. 1:30 to go in the second quarter. Clock's running. 2nd and 13 following the loss of yards. Salmon looking to get the play from the sideline. Getting everybody set. Looking to pass here as he drops back, gets his feet set. Dump passes to Kevin Jones, who splits it outside. He's going to stay in bounds, and that's going to keep the clock running. 1:04 to go here as only a short gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Mustangs. Under a minute to go here. 56 seconds.
And quick score update. Garner is pounding Athens Drive 29-0 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
46 seconds to go here. Salmon drops back to pass. Pump fake. Has Nayland Lopez in the flat, but he is sacked. That was just not a smart play on David's part. He should have dumped it off to Nayland Lopez, but it's going to bring up 4th and long. Panther Creek is going to take a timeout, as are we. 33 seconds to go here. We'll be right back. And we're back. 33.6 seconds to go here. 4th and 14 for Middle Creek as Matt Millington comes out to punt the ball off and try and pin Panther Creek back.
And I got another score update. 71st scored a touchdown and got a 2-point conversion to make the score 21-14 in the second quarter. As
Millington gets the punt off, and it goes out at the 43-yard line. 25.9 seconds to go here. And going back to that 71st game, 71st is 4-6, but they have a very experienced coaching staff over there, and they're by no means a pushover. They went a couple rounds in the playoffs last year, so Fuquay can't underestimate them despite their record. Everybody has a clean slate going into the playoffs, and it just matters which team shows up every Friday night and what adjustments the coaches can make, as there's a flag on the field, and they're going to re-punt.
The first snap was low, so Josh it was a false start.
So Panther Creek is going to request a re-kick.
Josh Banks needs to really focus and get the snap down. This is going to be a big snap right here.
Matt Williams, number 10 back for Panther Creek, to receive the punt. 25.9 seconds to go here.
Matt Williams, if I'm not mistaken, was the one who had the pick 6 in the first game.
And it's going to be oh my gosh. And that's going to be a touchdown for Panther Creek. The punt was blocked, rolled into the end zone, and Panther Creek recovered it. And that's going to tie up the game at 13. And that's just a heartbreaking turn of events for the Mustangs.
Those were all those, missed opportunities they had over here coming back to bite them because they didn't, take up more time on the clock, and they just...
And that false start proved to be critical, having to re-kick it. 19.3 seconds to go. This extra point would give Panther Creek the lead as it's tied up at 13. And snap is down, and it splits the uprights. And that's going to give Panther Creek the 1-point lead here, 14-13. 19.3 seconds to go here in the first half. And Panther Creek is going to get the ball back in the second half when we return after halftime. So what I would be looking for here Was I right? Is Panther Creek going to get the ball back?
Yeah, they will, because we received the kickoff.
Just making sure I was correct on that. But if I were Crocker, you got 19 seconds left. You don't want what you definitely don't want to do is throw an interception, but you may want to take a chance or two downfield, depending on how good the kick return is.
Yeah, what was it? Was it the first quarter when they threw that pass to Kevin Jones that he dropped?
Yeah, it was the first quarter where, he's gonna want that back. I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities Middle Creek had that they're gonna look back on. But all you can do right now is look forward and try and win this game here. It's still a very close game here, only down by 1 point. And the way Middle Creek's playing, they're playing real good football right now. They just haven't been able to convert on it. Definitely, I think playing better than Panther Creek in some aspects, but Panther Creek holds the advantage here.
Yeah, I think going into the second half, they're going to try to wipe this second quarter away and kind of go into the second half with a fresh start, try to capitalize on more opportunities that they missed.
Middle Creek has, they play excellent second halves. At least they have this season. So getting ready for the kickoff here. 19.3 seconds to go here in the first half. Kevin Jones and Rayshawn King back to receive the kick for the Mustangs. And it's going to be our first deep kick as everybody was playing up short. And it goes in the end zone, which is an automatic touchback. So Kevin was playing up short after the first two kickoffs had been, short squib kicks, and they changed it up a little bit, went deep on that one, and Middle Creek's going to start for their own 20-yard line here with 19 seconds to go, down by a point, and we'll see what they do here, whether they just run out the clock or if they try and take a shot downfield.
And that play PJ was referring to when Kevin Jones was open, he had man-to-man, and I doubt that Kevin Jones will get man-to-man with 20 seconds left. It's
a screen pass to Kevin, who's going to lose a yard or two on the play. Clock is going to run. And Middle Creek's going to let the clock run out here as Panther Creek goes into the locker room up 14-13 here. Excellent football game on our hands. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back for halftime statistics.
Tonight we'll perform 4 movements, distorted rear breeze, and Laloon and Urban. Sarah Warnich, is your band ready? You may take the field in performance. Good, and it'll be 6-0 Middle Creek. thank you to Mighty Marching Mustang Band. At this time, we also like to recognize the Mighty Marching Mustangs Band at Middle Creek High School performed at the Cary Band Day last Saturday and won the following awards. Best Drum Major of the Day, Best Brass Line of the Day, 3rd place in Class 4A, 1st place Music, 1st place Drum Major, 3rd place Color Guard, 3rd place Drum Line, and 3rd place General Effects in Class 4A. Thanks for all your support this fall. Our next performance will be
And we're back at halftime here with a couple minutes left to go. And we got some stats for you here. First downs, Middle Creek got twice as many as Panther Creek. We got 8, and Panther Creek got 4 first downs. And, rushing yards, we're outgaining them by a lot. Middle Creek has 118 rushing yards in the first half. Excuse me. Whereas Panther Creek only has 41 rushing yards. And, Nayland's leading our team, 13 rushes, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Panther Creek here leading 14-13 after that, they recovered after the punt was blocked and they recovered it in the end zone, putting them up. And we have some score updates from our pod popping up the bottom of your screen here. So keeping an eye on that. And keep an eye on who we could potentially be playing in the next round. Looking at that 71st Fuquay game, as Fuquay is leading right now by a touchdown. And another score update at halftime. Leesville is up 35-14 over Broughton. So Leesville holding a commanding lead, which was expected. They're the best team in the area. Even without Braxton Barrios, his younger brother, who's a sophomore, making his first playoff start. He's played last week against Wake Forest Roseville, so a lot of pressure on the young man over there. But he seems to be stepping it up and, got a commanding lead. Great first half of football here. Very close, as the score indicates. Both teams played well. And, we talk about a lot of missed opportunities by Middle Creek. And, they had a lot of chances to score and just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, it feels like I feel like Middle Creek, won the first quarter and Panther Creek won the second quarter. The way they played, it feels like they just took turns basically in quarters. Middle Creek had that fast start and then really didn't get much going after that, and then Panther Creek capitalized on all Middle Creek's missed opportunities.
And we're going to see, what Crocker and Coach Ryder and Coach Ray, all the Middle Creek coaching staff, kind of what they had to say. I know they had a good conversation with the team in the locker room, and I know Middle Creek's going to come back out refocused and got their eye on the prize, trying to win this ball game.
And Middle Creek pretty much dominated most of the first quarter, the whole first quarter and part of the second half, and
second quarter.
Second quarter, and Panther Creek was able to take the lead with a couple big plays and some missed opportunities by Middle Creek.
So we come out here, Middle Creek getting ready to kick the ball off. Matt Millington kicking it off for the Mustangs. Panther Creek receiving the kickoff as we get ready to go here, and the second half is underway. Deep kick by Millington, and it's going to roll past the Panther Creek receiving team, and he's going to get plastered at the 10-yard line.
And Middle Creek really needs to control the field position game. They did a great job of that in the first half, but were unable to put points on the board. And they're off to a good start here, starting Panther Creek in the 10-yard line.
And, Middle Creek's done a great job of pinning Panther Creek deep in their own territory. I mean, Panther Creek has had to work uphill the entire game, and aside from that long pass to McCoy earlier in the game, their only other points came off of a lucky break on special teams. So we'll see how they come out in the second half. I formation, handoff up the middle to Miyaka once again, and he's only going to get a couple yards, bringing up second and 10. There's no gain on the play.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get that big push off that offensive line. They have, the biggest offensive line, I think, in the entire Tri-9.
And, just even if they are big, that makes a huge difference. But it also, with size, you have to have a certain element of skill in order to open those gaps and, hold your blockers. So, Middle Creek's win the battle in the trenches right now, holding Panther Creek's rushing attack to just limiting them. They haven't even broken 50 yards in this game, as Miyaka gets the handoff up the middle and once again runs into the Middle Creek defensive line.
And go back to that offensive line, defensive line matched up. Panther Creek's offensive line is a lot bigger than Middle Creek's defensive line, but Middle Creek's is a lot quicker and a lot faster, and they're breaking through the blocks and getting in the backfield.
I mean, Darius Wilkins and Josh Banks is bigger than Darius Wilkins, like a little beefier, but Darius is fast, and he uses that to his advantage a lot. Shotgun formation, Jensen takes the snap, looking to pass, looking for the deep pass to Bielenson, who the pass is completed for the first down. So that's really the first, only a few successful pass attempts that Panther Creek has had in this game so far.
Yeah, going back to Josh Banks, I have him in one of my math classes. I try to look up at him, and it's so hard to do that because, you stand right by him, and he's got such a big height differential on you, and you just kind of have to look up to him.
Yeah, both Darius and Josh have the size to play college ball. That's why they're getting such good looks, and they got the skill as well. I formation, Bielenson comes in motion and pitch to number 2, and he is going to get stuffed in the backfield once again. Mayaka, who's averaging over 123 yards a game for Panther Creek, has just not been able to get anything going tonight.
And we got a score update. If you look at the bottom at our ticker, Jack Britt leads Southview 10-0.
So Jack Britt, a very experienced team. Always one of those teams that you always see in the playoffs. Always makes a good run. I formation and fake handoff. Dejon Montague tries to chase him down and little dump pass. And, Jensen barely got off the pass before Montague got to him. But good job by Jensen to evade the pressure.
Yeah, it seems like he got there pretty quick. He was just a little late. If he would have got there a little bit quicker, I think he would have had him.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Catamounts. 9:05 to go here in the third quarter. And we'll see what they do here.
And Middle Creek needs to make a big stop right here. Get the ball back and get their offense out on the field.
Shotgun. Jensen is going to look to pass. Quick pass, and it's dropped. Incomplete pass. It's going to bring up 4th and short for the Catamounts.
Yeah, you got to punt it here if you're Panther Creek. You can't.
Yeah, there's no reason to take chances, even if it is just a few yards. You got a slim lead, but you don't risk it right now. You just punt the ball away and count on your defense to hold Middle Creek.
This punter has, a really big foot.
He
can pin Middle Creek, so far down. So I'm expecting Quentin and Kevin to go back a little bit further than usual.
As you say that, Kevin backs up, and it's blocked by Jimmy Boyd into the end zone, and he's going to chase it down, and it's going to be a touchdown, Middle Creek. And just like that, Middle Creek is going to take the lead 19-14, and that is the second blocked punt recovered for a touchdown in this game.
And that looked pretty much exactly like the punt blocked by Panther Creek. Bounced right into the end zone, except Panther Creek's went a little farther, deeper into the end zone.
Talking about that special teams, they playing such a big part in this game, on the punt returns or either the, blocked punts or anything like that. They're playing such a big part in this game.
And they're going for 2 right now. David Salmon is out in the field. (19-14) here as Middle Creek looking to convert the 2-point conversion and make up for the missed extra point earlier. Play clock is winding down. 3 seconds to go. Devon Johnson in motion, barely gets the play off. Screen play to Devon Johnson, and they're going to get the 2-point conversion. Middle Creek goes up 21-14, taking the lead, and the momentum just had a huge shift. 8:52 to go here in the third quarter, and Middle Creek is pumped up right now. That's what they needed. We saw Jimmy Boyd has been breaking into the backfield all night on those punts, and it was just a matter of time before he blocked one of them.
And Middle Creek had the MO most of the first half. Panther Creek took it at the end of the first half, and Middle Creek just now regained it. And I think it'll be big with the home field crowd to continue with the big MO on their side.
21-14, Middle Creek leading after the huge special teams play, and 2-point conversion. It's a little risky right here. It definitely wasn't necessary, but Crocker had faith in his offense, and they pulled through. and that was critical to make up for that extra point, because as close as this game is and as close as it's going to be, or as I think it's going to be, Panther Creek's a great team, and I think that extra point is really going to be important if it comes down to just a matter of a couple points like it did last time.
And also, Panther Creek's kicker is very good, and that we don't really expect him to miss any field goals in tonight's game.
Millington's punt's recovered at the 11 by Matt Williams, who tries to escape the coverage team, evades a few tacklers, but he is wrapped up at the 26-yard line. Or excuse me, that's about the 23-yard line.
Brian Brodney made the tackle. He's really a good tackler. It seems like he doesn't miss very open field tackles. Like, I don't think he ever does.
He was in on one of those big losses early in the first half. He got in the backfield. I believe it was when Williams came around on the end around and just disrupted that play in the backfield. But he's just been a great job stepping up at cornerback and getting into the backfield when he needs to. And you saw in coverage there. Shotgun formation. 3 men coming in motion, and Jensen's gonna roll out to the. That's McLean in the Wildcat formation. So McLean is gonna get a few yards. We saw McLean came out earlier in the Wildcat formation, but that was when the snap. It was the bad snap, and he had just had to fall on it earlier. So he's going to come off the field. Jensen's going to return under center. 8:21 to go here in the third quarter. Middle Creek leading once again. And again, you see the safeties, Matt Pierce and Jackson Ryder, playing close to the line. Panther Creek in the I formation, man in motion, handoff up the middle to, and he's going to break a big run. That's Mayaka, and that's the first big run that that Panther Creek has broken. And he's going to take it down to the 40-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds by Michael Hagee.
And Mayaki's had a great season so far, but tonight, as we mentioned, he hasn't been able to get into the open. That's, I think, probably one of the first or second runs where he's actually found some running room.
And, if Middle Creek can limit those big runs to just a handful, they'll be set. And I formation handoff again to Mayaka up the middle, which has been a common play tonight, just hand it off to him up the middle. And it hasn't been that successful other than that big run a minute ago. And he's broken some big plays, or maybe one or two earlier in the game. But for the most part, Middle Creek's done a great job. Their rush defense has done a great job of containing Mayaka.
Yeah, you talk about, containing the run. They've done that against so many good running backs this year, like against Carey with DeAndre Henry. Even though he had a great game, they did an excellent job containing him.
Man in motion, handoff again to Mayaka, who takes it on the edge, and he is just gang tackled by 5 Middle Creek guys. So after that one big run, he's not letting them get anything. 7:08 to go here in the third quarter. Middle Creek, got the momentum back in their favor. Their defense looks pumped up. They let them break that big run, but now it's third and very long. Or not third and it's about 3rd and 7 here. So it's a huge conversion right here. Jensen in the shotgun. McLean in motion, looking to pass here, and it's going to be incomplete as Darius Wilkins came off the edge and got in Jensen's face and just forced the bad pass.
And Middle Creek secondary has done a great job on these third and mid-range, 6-7 yards. These key third downs, they've come up with big stops.
And the punting unit's going to come out for Panther Creek, and it'll be interesting to see. Bielenson has a huge leg, and it'll be interesting to see if he's able to scale it back a little bit and pooch it a little bit. Kevin Jones is back, the lone returner for Middle Creek, and it's a fake punt. Excellent call by Panther Creek, and they're not going to get it. I think that was the right call because it was awkward field position, and just couldn't get it. Middle Creek tried to catch Middle Creek off guard, but they weren't having any of it. So it's going to bring up fresh set of downs, fresh drive for Middle Creek. Salmon's going to come out in the field. Nayland Lopez out at running back, trips right, 6:34 to go here in the third quarter. Excuse me. We have a score update. Cary is pounding Lumberton 20-0 here. As Salmon launches the deep ball, he's got Curtis Burston. He's intercepted by McLean, and just underthrew it just a little bit. And McLean's got blockers, and he's still going. And that is not what Middle Creek wanted to do.
It looks like when Salmon was about to release that ball, he got hit. And that's maybe what caused the underthrown ball.
And, I mean, it looked like a perfect pass, and I think if Curtis had come back to it a little bit, he could have at least deflected it. I mean, but that's a hard play to make in the heat of the moment, as McLean is going to get the interception. Great coverage. He was sticking with Burston the whole way.
And on that type of play, Burston needs to become the defender when that ball's up in the air and prevent McLean from catching the ball.
6:21 to go here in the third quarter following the turnover. That's the second turnover for David. He fumbled one earlier. Man in motion handoff to Miyaka, who's going nowhere. So despite the turnover, I don't think the defense is going to yield anything for this Panther Creek offense. Middle Creek's, they got to dig deep. Second half coming out refreshed after halftime, and I don't think they're going to give anything. I mean, the running attack is just not at any success tonight, with the exception of one or two big runs. And there's a timeout on the field, injury timeout. One of the Middle Creek players is down. You're watching Sports Block, and we'll be right back. we're back. That was Jimmy Boyd on the field cramping up, and he's going to have to limp off the field with the help of the trainers here. 6:03 to go here in the third quarter. Panther Creek has the ball, 2nd and 9, and Jimmy looks to be in a lot of pain. He's not putting any pressure on that right leg, and that's a big loss. Even if it's momentarily, it's a big loss for the Mustangs.
He's playing a great game tonight. He also had the block punt and the touchdown.
Always a force on defense. Jensen drops back, has plenty of time. Screen pass intended for Mayaka coming out the backfield, and coverage by Brian Brodney. Once again, Brian Brodney disrupting the play.
He's having a great season, filling in the last couple games for Daquan Stewart, and he's playing almost to the level that Stewart was playing at before the injury.
As that brings up 3rd down. I think Brodney's played a lot this season, even when Daquan Stewart did start. So 3rd and 9, Jensen's going to drop back to pass, empty backfield, rolls out, has no one open, and just throws over Matt Williams just to get rid of it. And excellent coverage by the Mustangs. He had a lot of time, but nobody was open. Tried to roll out and just excellent coverage. So that's what Middle Creek needed to do. Bringing up 4th down and 9, and they're going to get the ball back.
Secondaries are coming up big again in the on 3rd down.
They're forcing Panther Creek to throw the ball here late in the game, and they're not having a lot of success with that. They had that one long touchdown pass in the first quarter, but other than that, their passing game hasn't had much success. Long punt recovered by Quentin Ray, and he fumbles it but picks it back up. He's got some blocking, jukes out one defender, and he's thrown out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So Middle Creek's going to get the ball back. Not great field position, but they definitely have the talent to drive the length of the field. They've done it plenty of times before, and coming out, they're probably gonna, you got Nayland out there, gonna slow it down a little bit. No reason to take shots, some short slant passes, and just play a little conservative.
They need to establish the run game again here, get a couple yards 1st and 2nd down, bring up makeable 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4s, where you can throw a quick slant or something like that.
And Nayland Lopez, he's hit immediately by 2 Panther Creek defenders, and he loses a couple yards on the play, but he was hit and then danced out of he looked like he was going to go down, but he somehow spun out of that, and he was tackled for a loss. But that was a excellent play to get out of what would have been a tackle. So 2nd and 12 here, 5:04 to go here, clock's running in the 3rd quarter. Handoff to Nayland Lopez, who's tackled again, and it's going to be 3rd and very long, and it's going to bring up a passing situation here. So Panther Creek is not giving any quarter here, and it's going to be 3rd and very long. Very difficult situation for the Mustangs. Curtis Burston split out left, trips right, Nayland Lopez in the backfield, and Salmon is going to have to come up big on here.
I'm looking for the screen they do to Kevin Jens. That provides big plays.
He's dropping back, pressure in the backfield, screen, and Nayland has yet to check down, and Nayland's going to take it out of bounds at the 25-yard line, and Panther Creek got in the backfield, so he just had to check it down to Nayland, and just giving Matt Millington a little extra room to punt here on 4th and 9. So unfortunate series for Middle Creek. Couldn't get much going. Panther Creek, just bottled up their running game and wasn't letting Nayland go anywhere. And Nayland had an excellent first half, almost eclipsed the century mark, and he just hasn't done much in the second half here. And low snap, bounced off the ground, and Millington gets the punt off, and it's going to be downed around the 47-yard line.
That was a great job by Matt Millington to, repick that punt up and get a hold of it and just kick it off without someone blocking it.
That's a tough situation. The punt skips off the ground, or the snap skips off the ground, and just showed composure back there. And that's a vital situation. That's a vital, situation back there. Couldn't afford to get that blocked.
And Middle Creek here needs to force a 3-and-out, get the ball back, and get another touchdown on there for a safe lead going into the fourth quarter.
I formation once again. That's been a favorite here. Jensen under center, handoff to Miyaka. It's fake handoff, rolling out to the left, and he has nobody open, and he's going to throw it away. And he had the lone wide receiver, Jamel Ross, on the left side, and Middle Creek did an excellent job of sticking with him. That was Barico White on the coverage, and he was the only man, one of the only men downfield for Panther Creek. So when his options were limited, you're not going to get much going against this excellent Middle Creek secondary.
Yeah, we're just looking for Middle Creek to get another big stop like they've done all night. It's just they've played an excellent defensive game.
I formation, handoff to Miyaka up the middle, who's going to power forward for 4 yards, bringing up 3rd and 6 for Panther Creek, and 3:20 to go here in the third quarter. Middle Creek leading 21-14. And this game is very close right now. You know, both teams are playing real good football. Both have made mistakes too. I mean, this has not been a mistake-free game by either team, and they've paid for those mistakes. 3rd and 5.
Look for Middle Creek secondary to come up big again here on 3rd down.
Shotgun. Jensen looking to pass. Pressure in the backfield, and he evades the sack. Darius gets to him just after he throws, and Dejan Montague and Wilkins came off the edge and got in his face, and he just had to throw it. Jensen had to throw it into the dirt, bringing up 4th and 5. And Bielenson will come out once again. He has seen plenty of action for the Catamounts tonight as punter.
Yeah, I think he's one of the only punters I've seen to kick or to punt the ball at least 60 yards in a high school football game. He is an outstanding punter.
And he's the only punter I've seen to play both in another position other than punter. And the punt is going to roll out of bounds at the 6-yard line. And carry is still up on Lumberton, but Lumberton has scored, making it 20-7, carry leading. And the Fuquay game is still sitting at 21-14, Fuquay leading. And the winner of this game will play the winner of the Fuquay game. And so that's definitely a game we want to keep an eye on.
The Fuquay game that we played, last month was just, I thought it was like an instant classic on ESPN. It was just an amazing game.
As Nayland takes the handoff up the middle, gets a few yards on the play, and that, I agree with you. I mean, that was one of the best one of the best high school football games I've ever seen. The Fuquay game and the Leesville game last year in the playoffs were 2 of the best high school football games I've seen. Salmon in a shotgun, handoff to, I believe that was Devon Johnson, who's going to lose yards on the play, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 7. Probably looking to pass here. Backed up, and that was a quick 2 plays, and you're already sitting at 3rd down here. 3rd and 5 here for the Mustangs. Got to convert here. Devon Johnson's in as Nayland Lopez takes a little bit of a breather. Deuces left and right. Drops back to pass. And looking for a man, Kevin Jones slips. He was the intended receiver and just can't come up with the catch. It was thrown a little bit behind Kevin, and he slipped trying to come up with the catch. It's going to bring up 4th and 8. Another 3 and out for the Mustangs, and just it's disappointing. That's not what they're looking to do here.
Yeah, they're trying.
They hold the lead, but they got to get something going on offense.
Since the first quarter, the Middle Creek had the one long touchdown drive right off the bat. And since then, they've had a defensive touchdown and another touchdown, but they really haven't been able to get the running game going, and they haven't thrown the ball successfully.
Millington punting out of his own end zone, and the ball is going to spin end over end, take a Panther Creek bounce, and it's going to be down at the 26-yard line. Middle Creek trying to save it before it bounces too far in favor of Panther Creek. So Panther Creek's going to have great field position here, and Middle Creek hasn't been able to capitalize on good field position, but Panther Creek hasn't had great field position to capitalize on. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out and do. Middle Creek's defense has played great all night, and looking to continue that here on this drive. 1:22 to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10, I formation, and somebody jumped, and it looked like Panther Creek started early, getting a little too getting excuse me, a little too overexcited, and that's going to make it 1st and 15, and just making it more difficult on themselves. We haven't seen too many penalties in this game, as compared to what we've seen in some previous games, it seems like. But
yeah, this has been like a relatively clean game with penalties. It seems like they're just trying to let them play a little bit, but it doesn't seem like a lot of mental errors have occurred.
I formation once again. Ross comes in motion, handoff up the middle to Mayaka. He's going to get a few yards on the play. And a little score update for you at the bottom of your screen. Cary has scored once again, and they're up 27-7 on Lumberton, and got a commanding lead in that game. And Cary is kind of a dark horse in this bracket. Fuquay and Middle Creek and Jack Britta, I think, are some of the favorites in that bracket. But Cary's a good team, and I think people should watch out for them.
They really like to control the game, keep the running game, keep the chains moving, and get 3 and outs on defense.
As Mayaka takes it up the middle for a few yards, and something that Cary became kind of found in the last couple games was their passing attack. Connor Chase kind of got in a rhythm, and he's just added another dimension to that Cary offense. You got DeAndre Henry, that prolific running back, and then you have, it's scary to think if they could have an effective passing attack, the things that Cary could do, and they got a great defense over there too. So definitely team to watch out for. Shotgun formation, handoff to Mayaka up the middle, and he's gonna get stuffed after a couple yards. It's gonna bring up 4th down, and it's another one of those awkward situations where it'd be a very long field goal attempt. But we will return to see what Panther Creek decides to do on 4th down as the 3rd quarter comes to an end, and we're going to take a quick break and return for the 4th and final quarter of play. And we're back here for the 4th quarter of play. Middle Creek up 21-14 here, looking to hold on to that lead, but Panther Creek has excellent field position on the Middle Creek 25-yard line, knocking on the door. It's 4th down, and they're going for it here. Jensen, the shotgun, looking to pass. No open men. Long ball into the end zone, and it's tipped away by Barraquel White. And that wasn't a very catchable ball thrown by Jensen, but Barraquel White just made the extra effort to make sure that nobody was getting to that ball. And, we can feel it even up in the press box. We're nice and toasty, but the cold is still getting to us up here, and it makes it really difficult down there, especially if you're a receiver. That ball hurts in this cold. If your hands are cold, it's going to hurt. So that could affect the Middle Creek passing game if they need to throw the ball later on. Salmon in the shotgun, trips left, fake handoff to Lopez. Salmon's going to keep it, and he's going to fall forward for a yard. And, the field's also a little slippery here. We had rain on and off today. You see the puddles on the sidelines. Well, for those of you at home, you may not be able to see from our angle, we see some puddles on the sidelines, and just it's not that wet because it had some time to dry out. But, it's always a little tricky to play in a damp field.
And we got a score update. At the end of the 3rd quarter, Fuquay is still leading 71st, 21-14.
So holding on to the that lead, the same score that we have here at Mustang Stadium, and definitely going to keep an eye on that as Lopez falls forward for another yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for the Mustangs. A passing situation, trips left, and Kevin Jones is the single wide receiver out to the right. Salmon drops back to pass, looking. He has pressure from the weak side, and he is sacked. And just the Panther Creek defensive lineman, that was number 55 Kofi Saki, and he just burst he clawed his way past the Middle Creek offensive line, and Salmon had no chance on that play. It's going to be 4th and 15, and Millington's going to come out to punt. Matt Williams is back for the Catamounts to receive the punt.
Yeah, they got to get a good push on this. So
and it's a fake, and that was number 42 or number 40, Josh Banks.
That was.
I don't know.
Josh Banks is the long snapper, so I have no idea what just happened.
I think he kind of.
They're looking confused as something's not. I'm not sure what's going on in this play because Middle Creek looks confused, like something at. I think they thought somebody jumped on that play, and because I don't think that was a design fake. And because that wasn't a legal play though, because Josh didn't snap. He was the one he was the long snapper. So I don't understand that. I don't understand the ref's lack of a call on that field because.
Can he do that?
No, you have to snap the ball before you can move it.
He could have maybe fumbled the snap and picked it up and ran back.
That may have been the case.
That's maybe what happened.
But anyways, after the busted play, Panther Creek's going to have excellent field position here, and they run it on 1st down and get a couple yards. 9:47 to go here in the 4th quarter. Middle Creek still leading by a touchdown, but Panther Creek again with excellent field position, and we've seen by both teams excellent field position it doesn't mean anything because both teams have not capitalized on multiple occasions as Mayaka takes it up the middle and gets it to the 8-yard line.
Excuse me. Panther Creek is knocking on Middle Creek's defense's door right now. I mean, they seem to be having their way right now. I mean, after that weird play, I don't know what that was. It was just maybe a muff snap, but they're knocking on their door right now, and has to be a little bit nervous for the Middle Creek defense.
And somebody jumped. Panther Creek was out in the Wildcat. They had 3 men come in motion. That's what they did.
I think that was illegal formation.
We'll have to see. And it was encroachment by Middle Creek. And quick score update: Fuquay extended their lead to 29 to 14 over 71st. But now after the costly penalty, that's just going to bring Panther Creek even closer, and they're just feet away from the goal line. Not a position that the Middle Creek defense wants to be in. And Wildcat formation. Jensen is lined up in a wide receiver slot to the right. McLean is going to take the snap. He's going to run with it, cut through the defense, and he's going to get. The players are indicating a touchdown, but the officials are going to indicate that it's down at the 1-yard line. So that's going to bring up 2nd and goal from just a couple yards out following the run by McLean out of the Wildcat formation. It's about the 3rd or 4th time they've tried that tonight. They haven't had huge success. You had that bad snap, and then they've run it a couple other times. I formation, handoff up the middle, and it's a touchdown by the Catamounts. And that was Mayaka on the run. And it's going to make it 21-20 right now, and this extra point is crucial. And, we've had momentum swing after momentum swing, just back and forth. And this game should be a lot higher scoring than it is right now in favor of Middle Creek, just in terms of the opportunities they've had. And it's frustrating to watch, because they should be ahead by more right now. But, it's unfortunate, and they're going to have to live with that as the kick is up, and it looks wide. And it is no good, and Middle Creek is still leading 21-20 right now. So that is a huge break. So Middle Creek is holding on to a very slim lead right now. 8:42 to go here. Still plenty of football left to play, and Middle Creek has to score in this next drive. We need that cushion because, anything can happen, and they need that confidence boost, both to them, the offense and defense, because we gotta step it up right now. Because all these blown opportunities are not gonna cut it. If we do make it to the next round, against a team like Fuquay, we beat them once, but it is going to be very difficult to repeat that.
Yeah, they're going to come back and they're going to be wanting a lot of revenge on us for that double overtime loss that they.
Because I know that's bugged a lot of people, both fans and players alike. That's bugged a lot of people. That's their only loss on the season, and they're going to be wanting revenge, like you said. They're but that's looking a little ahead right now. We still have a lot of football left to play, but we're only leading by a point. So 8:42 left to go. Middle Creek still leading, but Panther Creek cut the lead down after that touchdown.
I think Middle Creek on this drive needs to control the clock, move the chains, get a touchdown, and take some time off this clock.
Rayshawn King and Kevin Jones back to receive the kick as number 29 Garrett Lang gets set to kick, and not sure what to expect. They've kicked it short, both short and long, but the ball is going to be blown off the tee. So gets set again. We've had a couple of squib kicks and a long kick, so Ray and Kevin aren't quite sure what to expect here.
Looks like somebody just got hurt over on the sideline.
And I didn't see what happened.
He just fell down.
Looks like Jamel Ross or Brandon Little.
It's number 8.
That's Brandon Little. He's the captain.
And not sure what happened to him, but we hope he's all right. So the ball is set on the tee again as Lane gets ready to kick off. Ray and Kevin are lined up. They're playing up short at the 20-yard line, and it's a deep kick. Oh, not deep. It's more of a squib kick. It's recovered, and it's going to be returned by Quentin Ray out to about the 44-yard line.
It looked like the guy that just fell over there, he just cramped up a little bit. That's why he just limped over to the sideline. They just let him take over from there.
8:35 to go here in the game. Middle Creek offense is going to come out once again.
The Middle Creek offense needs to try to get their running game going again. It hasn't been as effective as they had in the first quarter, which, they need to get going to help them win this game.
No doubt that's going to be crucial. Salmon in the shotgun. Nayland comes out of the backfield and just hits Kevin. The pass was intended for Kevin Jones on the screen, and he just drops it. And Kevin is dropping a lot of passes. I mean, that's his second drop pass tonight, and that's uncharacteristic for Kevin.
The first drop pass was probably going to go for a touchdown, and we really need that right now. So,
but Middle Creek's gotta have a short memory, forget the mistakes that they've made in this game, and they gotta capitalize on this drive. Trips right, Salmon drops back to pass, pressure, deep ball to Kevin Jones, and he has his redemption opportunity, and he takes it down to the 15-yard line, and that's what Kevin wanted. He's been wanting that back since the first quarter, and he gets his opportunity. Curtis Burstyn is indicating to Salmon they want to do run the hurry up, but there's a Panther Creek player down, stretching out a little bit.
And Kevin Jones was streaking down the sideline, and the safety was going with him. He then cut inside and was able to create separation.
And there's a timeout taken, and play is going to continue here. Salmon in the shotgun, 2 receivers on each side, and Kevin Jones with that redemption opportunity, and he made the most of it. And I'm sure he's been wanting that back, and he got his chance to redeem himself. Salmon's going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to have the touchdown. And he runs it in from 15 yards out, and he was untouched. He just ran straight up the middle. Panther Creek bid on the fake, and Middle Creek is up 27-20. And Chris Huey's coming out in the field trying to extend that lead. 8:13 to go here in the game. that's what Middle Creek needed.
Yeah, he really created that possession, that scoring drive for them with the perfect throw to Kevin Jones on his redemption catch and that little rushing touchdown that he had.
And Chris Huey slips, but he splits the uprights, and that's going to increase the Middle Creek lead 28-20. So now if Panther Creek scores, they got to get a 2-point conversion to tie it up. But keep in mind, there's also 8:13 to play here in this ball game, and there's plenty of time for them to come back and score a couple of times. So, Middle Creek I know they're excited. I know the momentum's on their side. I mean, I know everybody's pumped up, but what they can't do is get ahead of themselves. They gotta keep their composure, which I know they can do. I know they got a lot of experienced guys on the defensive side of the ball, like we've mentioned, and I know they just got to keep their composure, not make silly mistakes like jumping off sides, which they haven't done a lot of tonight, which is definitely good to see.
And this is when the experience on the defensive side of the ball comes into play. 8 minutes left. They got an 8-point lead. First playoff game. They really need some big stops, and they got a lot of leadership on the defense.
I know that was Salmon's 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
And that puts him at, he's probably close to 30 total touchdowns on the season. He's shown his leg, showing that mobility.
He has 27 total touchdowns with 14 interceptions, counting that one that he had today.
So Millington with the high kick. It's going to be recovered by Ross at the 15-yard line, and he's not going to get very far before he's brought down by a host of Middle Creek defenders, and they are pumped up, man. They are ready to go. They're rejuvenated, and that's a tough thing to go up against if you're Panther Creek. A team with new life in it. That's a tough thing to come up against. But I know Panther Creek's determined. By no means are they out of this game. You got 8 minutes of football left to play, and Panther Creek is a good football team.
And this is when the home field advantage starts to come into play. You get the big ammo on your side. You get the fans behind you, and got to make stops on defense. And
Mayaka takes the handoff up the middle, and he's brought down. And we have a final score. Cary won 27-7 over Lumberton. So they, I believe, are going to face the winner of the Jack Britt game.
Yeah, and we have another injured player.
So another Middle Creek player is down. He's cramping up. So we're going to take an injury timeout. You're watching the Sports Buck, and we'll return in a moment. And we're back. That was Marquise Ward, the linebacker for Middle Creek, cramping up on the field. And a score update, Wake Forest Roseville is trouncing Millbrook 31-0 at the moment. Millbrook led by Keith Marshall, best running back in the country, but they don't have a whole lot other than Keith Marshall.
Yeah, and it's looking like his high school career is coming to a wrap. It was a great one.
And Jensen cover and just break the. There's nobody open, so he takes it. He escapes the pressure. It looked like he was going to get sacked, and he takes it up the middle for a good, solid 7-yard gain. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 4, following the quarterback keeper. 7:18 to go here in the game. And Panther Creek has the ball. They got to score. there's plenty of time left, but you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get down the line.
You just got to capitalize on the ones that you get.
Jensen in the shotgun. Michael Heggie drills him right after he gets the pass off. And I don't know if we've had many sacks in this game, but we have pressured Jensen a whole heck of a lot, and we're not making it easy on him. We've seen multiple linemen in the backfield hitting Jensen right after he throws the ball, and that's not a good feeling for Jensen. He's gonna get he's ended up on the ground a lot tonight. And Southeast Raleigh is leading J.E. Rose 21-15. J.H. Rose, 21-15. As the punt is off, flag down on the field, and it looked like Middle Creek may have jumped on which would be really unfortunate because that would give Panther Creek the first down. So we're going to see what the call on the field is. And what it may have been, actually, it may not have been offsides. I think it was false start on Panther Creek, and I think they're just going to decline that. Crocker's trying to hear the field, or hear the...
I think that's a dead ball foul. You can't. I think you have to take the penalty and re-kick.
I think they just get it and they add yards to the.
It's
to the
declined.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or not.
So Salmon's conferring with Crocker over on the sideline, getting the play so we can run this Middle Creek offense. 6:47 left to go here. Middle Creek up 28-20 over Panther Creek right now. Excellent game of football right as Neil Lopez in the backfield.
And Middle Creek hasn't really found a rhythm on offense since that first drive. They've had a couple big plays, but they haven't really been able to pick up multiple first downs in a drive.
What's been key, in the first half, PJ, you touched on it earlier, but the running game was excellent in the first half, and in the the second half of play, they haven't had much. Yeah, you're right, it's disappeared. I mean, Panther Creek's defense has stepped up and stopped the run. So handoff to Devon Johnson, tries to break out the outside, stiff arms one, gets the edge, and he came what happened was he was pushed out of bounds, hit a puddle, and he came very close to slamming into one of the benches.
He's probably good he hit the puddle, probably slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, it was lucky. Things you don't really think about, running into things on the sideline could have been very bad for Devon. 6:14 to go here, 3rd and 11 for the Mustangs. Nayland Lopez and Devon Johnson both in the backfield. Simon in shotgun, looking to pass. And he has Kevin Jones, and he just overthrows Kevin by a touch. But Kevin is fast, and I think sometimes David overestimates a little. I mean, it's hard to do because, Kevin's a real fast receiver, and I think it's easy to, overthrow him a little bit, giving him a little too much room to run. So
he had him, and then he just overthrew it a little bit. I mean,
it was not by much.
It was not by much at all.
4th and 11. Millington comes out once again to handle the punting duties. Matt Williams back to receive the punt for the Catamounts. 6:08 to go here in the game, and the punt is, and that's going to be a penalty. That's got to be a penalty. Thank you. I was worried for a minute because Panther Creek drilled Matt Millington, who is down on the field, and you can't do that. You can't run into into the punter.
It looks like he's hurt.
He's hurt real bad, and it looks pretty bad the way he's down. And we're going to take an injury timeout. You're watching the Sports Block, and we'll be right back. And Matt Millington was able to limp off the field. He looks like he's hurting pretty bad. We hope he's all right. You can't run into the punter. We saw 2 years ago against Harnett Central in the playoffs, Matt Frangella, who was the punter and kicker at the time, got his collarbone broken when one of the Harnett Central players took a shot at him. So following the penalty, it's going to be a first down, and Salmon hits Burston on the outside, who's going to almost break 2 tacklers, and he's going to have a big gain.
Curtis having a really good year. He's only a sophomore. I mean, he had a game, I remember, a couple weeks ago where he had 2 touchdowns, and he just carried them on offense as a receiver.
We mentioned the experience on the defensive side. The offensive side's a lot younger, and he's one of the weapons that we'll continue to use for the next 2 years.
5:28 to go here in this game. Middle Creek leading 28-20. They're driving right here. Fake handoff to Johnson, and you give it to Lopez, who's stuffed once again. So Matt Millington is, we see on the sidelines, he's limping, but he's walking under his own power, I think, trying to walk it off. He got hit really hard, and I think, he doesn't get hit hard ever. So,
that was just a hard hit.
And as long as he's not hurt too bad, it may be a silver lining if he. But and pass was intended for Nayland Lopez over the middle, and it was incomplete. And McLean is coming up limping from the play for Panther Creek, and he's going to go down. And Lopez is also down after he got drilled on the play. So we're going to take an injury timeout while both these players recover a little bit. You're watching the Sports Balk, and we'll be back in a moment. And both players were able to make it off the field on their own power, which is good to see. McLean for Panther Creek went down, and Nayland Lopez was down for Middle Creek. And a little score update, Jack Britt is now up 17-0 over Southview. 4:49 left to go in this game. Salmon comes out in the shotgun. 3rd and 13. Devon Johnson is in the backfield, trips right. Looking to pass, screen pass to Devon Johnson. He's got his blockers, and he breaks one tackle, and he's able to get some extra yardage, carrying some of the defenders on his back, and makes the extra effort. And the final score of the Fuquay game, 29-14 Fuquay. So the winner of this game will play Fuquay in the next round. And a little bit of an observation here, aside from the tip ball earlier in the first half, we haven't seen any of John Moore. We've seen a little bit of Quentin Ray, and then a lot of Curtis Burston and Kevin Jones, but John Moore has not had many passes thrown his way tonight. So, wonder if they may get him into the game later, as Salmon tries to hit Kevin Jones on 4th down and overthrows him by a mile. So it's going to be turnover on downs on the 24-yard line. Panther Creek is going to get the ball with 4:35 left to go in the game, and looking to do something with it here. Down by 8 points. They got to score on this drive, or I think it could be over, depending on how well Middle Creek can run down the clock. We'll have to see how that works out for them.
Yeah, this is where you want to see that your experienced defense try to come in and make a huge stop that you need at the closing of this game. With all the senior leadership they have, they should be able to pull this off.
I formation. Miyaka gets the handoff up the middle. and he's going to get a few yards on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5. 4:18 to go here. Clock is running. I formation. Ross is the single wide receiver out to the right. Another handoff up the middle to Mayaka, who is going to power forward for about 2 yards. And that's been their the staple of their offense tonight. I mean, lining up in that I formation and just handed it off to Mayaka up the middle a lot. I formation, 3rd, and they're saying it's a 1st down. Actually, Mayaka was able to pick it up. I formation, handoff to Mayaka, and he's gonna get no gain on the play. And another score update: Garner pounded Athens Drive 42-0. And they're going to move on to the next round. And, tough loss for Athens, but Garner is a very good team. So that was the expected outcome of that game. 2nd and 9 here. 3:20 to go.
Middle Creek, their defense needs to keep everything in front. They need to stay away from the big play and just try to make Panther Creek just tick the time off the clock.
Man in motion, pitch to Mayaka, who's going to get stuffed by Duncan Cameron. Big man up in the middle. And, Duncan's one of the biggest guys on the team, and they like to bring him in to stop the run. He's the big body up in the middle, plugging the holes for the Mustangs. Excellent play by Cameron. That's going to bring up 3rd and 7. 2:42 to go here. And big 3rd down here. Shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers out to the left, single out to the right. Drops back, Jensen drops back to pass and just throws it away.
It looks like he was trying to get his receiver, but he saw that he was well covered and just threw it away.
Jensen's had to throw a lot of balls away tonight, but it's also a sign he's it's a smart decision. It's not the pretty play, but he's getting rid of it, not taking the sack, not trying to force anything, and it's going to bring up 4th down. And it looks like the Catamounts are going to go for it, which they have to right now. 2:26 to go here. Clock is stopped after the incomplete pass. 4th and 7. Huge play for the Catamounts. If they don't convert here, it is most likely over for them tonight. Darius Wilkins breaking into the backfield. Pass is caught by Ross, but he is not going to get enough. He is a good 2 yards short of the 1st down, and Middle Creek offense is going to come out in the field with 2:19 to go here. Fresh set of downs, and they're on the Panther Creek side of the field, which hasn't been much tonight because they've had great field position, but they got to be determined right now. All they have to do is run out the clock. A score here would seal the win for them, and you just got to limit no mistakes at this point in the game. Because remember, Middle Creek had the lead the last time, and it was just a mistake late in the game. And if they play mistake-free, they will win this football game. 2:19 to go here, 1st and 10. Salmon and shotgun, Lopez and King in the backfield, handoff to Lopez, and he is tackled immediately, and he's going to have a loss of yards on the play. And Panther Creek is going to take a timeout. And with 2:14 to go here, you're watching the Sports Block, and we'll be right back. Coming back from the Panther Creek timeout, 2:14 to go here. Middle Creek has the ball. Salmon in the shotgun. Nayland Lopez in the backfield. Fake handoff. Salmon's going to keep it.
And that looked like a busted play. It looks like he was trying to get it to Nayland. The snap was high. and he couldn't get into him and get it to Nayland in time, and just kept it.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 14, excuse me. And Middle Creek's going to take a timeout and kind of get things figured out here, get the right play, because this is crucial here. 2:08 to go here. You're watching the Sports Block. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back here, 3rd and 14 for the Mustangs. 2:08 to go here, trying to seal this 28-20 victory. And Salmon kept it, and he's going to fall forward for a yard. Not sure, wonder if that may have been another busted play. And that's going to bring up 4th and very long, and Panther Creek is going to take a timeout.
And
Panther Creek's going to take a timeout here, just get their composure. Couple minutes to go, and if we win this game, which it looks like we very, very well could, in the next round we'll be at home against Fuquay, and imagine how crazy that's going to be.
Rematch.
Regular season game was double overtime victory, won by 1 point, and this place is always packed for the Fuquay games because they're right down the road. They're our main rivals. A lot of kids went to school with each other. Everybody knows each other. And it's going to be packed.
And
if that's the case, if we move on to the next round. But, we still got a little bit of football to play.
Looking over at the opposing sideline, the bleachers, right now you can see a lot of steel and metal from the bleachers. When Fuquay comes into town, you're not going to be able to see anything. It's going to be packed.
It's all a lot of orange or black, whatever color they choose to wear next week.
And Curtis Bernstein is going to do the punting.
Yeah, that's filling in for Matt Millington here. So Millington is still injured.
They just need to get the punt off.
And he does get the punt off, and it's a great punt. And they're going to down it at the 10-yard line. Beautiful punt by Curtis. And a beautiful punt by Curtis Burston, filling it for Matt Millington, who, we saw he was up and limping around, but he's currently on the bench, I think, and he's going to sit the rest of this game out after taking a big hit. With 1:53 left to go here, Middle Creek up 28-20, and the Catamount offense is going to come out on the field, and this is their last drive. They're going to have to win this football game. Jensen in the shotgun. Mayaka to his right, dropping back to pass. Lofts a pass to Mayaka. It's complete, but he is wrapped up by Barico White. And, Jensen's putting his running back at risk there, but kind of floating it up there. He was giving Middle Creek that extra split second to come back on the ball. Shotgun formation. Jensen drops back to pass. Pass intended for
They're going to get pass interference on Marquise Ward.
And that's the mistakes that you can't be making. And that's going to give Panther Creek.
It was pass interference. He pushed him in the back before he got the ball.
It looked to me like it was inside that 5-yard zone where you can make contact with the receiver, but the referee did not agree.
But only to a certain extent, I think.
I think the ball was also left the quarterback's hands, and he had a chance to catch it, but he got bumped before that.
So it's going to give Panther Creek a fresh set of downs. Ball at the 25-yard line. 1:25 left to go in this game. Middle Creek up by 8. And Panther Creek has got to score in this drive. Shotgun formation. And pass is complete to, is that Bielenson?
That's Dominique Johnson.
So that's Johnson we haven't heard from at all tonight.
He's actually listed as a defensive back on the roster, but he's got to play a little wide receiver tonight.
And Johnson couldn't get out of bounds. The clock is going to continue to run. 1:02 to go here. Jensen passes, throws it into the ground, intended for Williams, and that was a 2nd and 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down, 58.6 seconds to go here in this game.
I think that might have been deflected on the line by Dejon Montague.
So excellent play by Middle Creek defense, and Panther Creek has 2 more plays to win this ball game or tie this ball game up. They can't win it right now, but best they can do is tie it up, send it into overtime. A little Hail Mary action right here. Actually, move it up the field a little bit first as Jensen drops back to pass. Pass is complete to Ross, and he's going to get the 1st down, bringing it out to the 42-yard line, and that's going to stop the clock at 52.3 seconds to go here as the chains are moved, and Barracuda White is down for the Mustangs, looking like another cramp, and we're going to take an injury timeout for a minute. You're watching the Sports Buck. We'll return in a second. And we're back, and Barracuda White is being carried off the field. He got up for a second, but he went right back down. He's in a lot of pain right now and not been able to make it off the field under his own power. So 1st and 10 for the Catamounts. Jensen in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers out to the left, and he bobbles the snap and gets the pass off to Bielenson, who catches it for a 2-yard gain.
And you were talking about the Hail Mary the Catamounts need to throw. They have height. They have the 6'5" tight end. They have Jamel Ross at 6'2" and Dominique Johnson at 6'3", so they do have deep play threats.
A lot of big bodies, and with Barracuda White, one of our best cornerbacks out, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. 41.7 seconds to go here. Middle Creek leading 28-20. Jensen back to pass, and Bielenson tries to make the diving catch but can't come up with it. And 6 more seconds ticks off the clock. 35.7 seconds to go here, and it's going to be a long 35 seconds.
the cornerback, trying to replace Barraquel White, which is a very big shoe to fill. Michael Council. I mean, it seems like he's going to try to do his best, but I mean it's a hard spot to fill.
He just needs to keep everything in front of him and take away the touchdown.
Empty backfield here. Jensen dropping back, looking for an open man, has Bielenson over the middle, wide open, cutting through the zone defense, and that's going to move the ball in big chunks. Clock is going to stop at 28.9 as the chains are moved. Looking for a spike here because I think Panther Creek is out of timeouts. And Jensen is going to spike it. 23.9 seconds to go here. Panther Creek second and 12 here.
Second and 12.
Does the ball? I feel like the ball should move back for a spike, but I guess I'm wrong. So 2nd and 10 here, actually, after the spike. Clock is stopped at 23.9 seconds to go here, and Panther Creek is within striking distance. Everybody's getting loud and getting pumped, trying to throw off this Panther Creek team. And Middle Creek is going to take a timeout, trying to get their composure. You got to get the right formations lined up on defense. So with 23.9 seconds to go here, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And with 23.9 seconds to go on the clock, everybody's getting loud. Panther Creek fans are over there, fingers crossed, hoping and praying. Middle Creek fans are on their feet trying to throw off Panther Creek as the play is called dead. And it is offsides by Middle Creek, getting a little too excited.
You cannot do that in the last 24 seconds in the game. It's not going to help you out at all. It's just something you cannot do in a close game like this, where Panther Creek can capitalize on this very easily.
2nd and 5, ball at the 33-yard line.
You want to see them try to get a good stop. You want to try to play it safe here. Don't let up. Just play your game and just play it safe.
Empty backfield. Middle Creek defensive backs are playing deep. Jensen drops back. Darius Wilkins in the backfield. He gets the pass off, and it's complete to Bielenson down to the 11-yard line with 17.8 seconds to go here in the game. Jensen's going to line up and spike the ball. Once the clock starts again, ball is spiked. 14.9 seconds to go here. It's going to bring up 2nd and goal. So big pass play. Bielenson came through. That's been Jensen's favorite target tonight. He's that big body tight end, the best receiver on that team. He's going to play football at Duke next year. So an excellent player for the Catamounts. 14.9 seconds to go here. And Panther Creek, keep in mind, has to score and get the 2-point conversion. So, man, and the Creek Crazies and the fans are deafening out here. Jensen in the shotgun, dropping back to pass, looking for an open man, lobs it in the end zone, and it's broken up. Panther Creek wide receivers ran into each other and just prevented they were their own worst enemy on that play, and they should have had the touchdown. 9.1 ticks left on this clock.
And Johnson, I believe it was Johnson, had his hands on the ball when Jamel Ross came from the other side and ran right into him.
And I know they're not going to be happy with each other, but you just got to shake it off. 9 seconds to go here. Coming down to the wire. Everybody expected an incredible game tonight, and we're getting one. 28-20, Middle Creek leading. Panther Creek trying to tie it up here, and pass intended for Ross, and it falls incomplete, thrown behind Ross. 4.9 seconds to go here. 4th down and goal. Panther Creek has one chance.
And
They
you
have-
got 5 seconds left. This is going to be your last play. If I were Panther Creek, I'd put Dominic Johnson over on Michael Council and just throw it up to him. Council is inexperienced, and Johnson's got a couple inches on him. And that looks like what they're doing right now.
Empty backfield here. Panther Creek with their season on the line. Jensen drops back, rolling out to the right. The pressure is there in the backfield. He lobs it up, and it's going to be tipped away by Brian Brodney. Time runs out, and Middle Creek is going to win 28-20, and they will be home again next week. Fuquay will come to Middle Creek next week for another rematch for the double overtime thriller that we had earlier this season. An excellent game by both teams. That's what we expected, and it came down to the very final play. You could not have asked for a better football game. So Middle Creek's going to pull out the 28-20 lead. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back for post-game stats. And we're back. Middle Creek has just won 28-20 over Panther Creek, and a solid game by both teams. Middle Creek pulling out the win, gonna be home again. Huge advantage, being at home. It's a totally different atmosphere. Have the home crowd on your side, but we're gonna be facing Fuquay yet again. Earlier this season we won by 1 point in double overtime. Stopped Fuquay in the 2-point conversion to pull out the win, and it's going to be one heck of a game next week. The stadium is going to be packed on both sides. Fuquay just down the road, and everyone's going to come out to support both teams, and it's going to be an incredible game to watch next week. So, Middle Creek pulling out the win. Excellent play by both teams, and Mayaka, he rushed the ball a lot. They handed it off to him 30 times for 103 yards. Nayland Lopez, his productivity went down a little bit after the first half. 18 rushes, 90 yards. And David Salmon ran it 11 times for 37 yards and had that rushing touchdown as well, bumping his rushing touchdown total up to half a dozen. And, great play by the Middle Creek defense, holding the Panther Creek offense in check. And you guys have anything else to add?
I just want to mention a big key to Middle Creek's win tonight was the defense was able to get off the field on third down. They made a lot of stops, and I think that's the big reason for Middle Creek's victory tonight.
I think what helped them out was their defense. That the last play, they stopped the run in the beginning of the game, and they got their run game established in the beginning of the game. Because their run game in the beginning is what kept them in with Nayland Lopez's 2 touchdowns in the first half.
So we will be back again next Friday for another exciting playoff matchup against the Fuquay Bengals. I'm Matt Kimball for PJ Bellantoni and Alex Johnson. Thank you for watching another broadcast, and we'll see you next Friday.